Picture this. It's 1996 and you're Nicolas Cage. You're 32 years old. You've just starred in The Rock alongside Sean Connery. Your paycheck, $2 million. But that's not all. In Hollywood, money came in waves, back-end points, bonuses, gross participation deals. Each film became a financial avalanche. Gone in 60 seconds. The National Treasure franchise. Cage wasn't just earning money, he was becoming a money-printing machine. He acquired them obsessively. Schloss Nietstein in Bavaria, Germany. Mitford Castle in England. 2 castles, 2 countries. 0 practical reason. Then came Leaf Cay in the Bahamas, a private island. He owned 15 residences total. That's not diversification, that's compulsion. But the real descent started with the LaLaurie Mansion in New Orleans. Cage outbid other wealthy collectors in 2007 for this property. The mansion had dark history, built in 1832 as the site of horrific torture. Cage paid $3.4 million for a property built on suffering, claiming he wanted to write a horror novel there, using its energy as inspiration. The mansion remained mostly empty, a $3 million monument to impulse spending. In 2001, Cage hired business manager Samuel J. Levin. Here's the kicker. Levin repeatedly warned him his spending was unsustainable. Levin claimed Cage needed to earn $30 million annually just to maintain his lifestyle. $30 million annually. Levin sent letters, made calls, scheduled meetings, all ignored. Cage kept buying. Then came 2007. Cage reached out to auction houses and bid on a Tyrannosaurus Bataar skull. A complete dinosaur skull, 67 million years old, the size of a large dog. Leonardo DiCaprio was bidding too. Cage won at $276,000. He displayed it proudly. Except there was a problem. The skull had been illegally smuggled from Mongolia. In 2015, U.S. Department of Homeland Security forced him to return it. He received 0 compensation. $276,000 simply vanished. But that was symbolic. The real crisis came in 2008. The American real estate market collapsed. Homes worth $400,000 became worth $200,000 overnight. Properties couldn't be sold. Equity evaporated. All at once, Cage's assets became anchors. The castle in Germany wasn't appreciating anymore. It was depreciating. The island lost value. The waterfront homes in Newport Beach, bought at peak prices, were suddenly worth half that. Unlike stocks, real estate takes time to sell. In 2008, buyers were extinct. In July 2009, the IRS filed a tax lien against Nicolas Cage for $6.2 million in unpaid federal taxes from 2007. It opens you to asset seizure. The IRS doesn't negotiate gently. 4 months later, in October 2009, Cage sued Samuel J. Levin, demanding $20 million for mismanagement and fraud. It was a nuclear accusation. His countersuit revealed something shocking. Levin had warned Cage dozens of times about unsustainable spending. There were letters, emails, documented instances. Cage had simply ignored every warning. Then, in December 2009, the IRS filed another lien. $6.7 million more. Now, Cage owed over $13 million in unpaid taxes alone. This is where most celebrities disappear. This is where they hire bankruptcy attorneys and get a legal fresh start. Nicolas Cage refused. It felt like quitting. It felt like failure. Despite having every legal right to discharge his debts through bankruptcy, despite having grounds to claim his business manager mismanaged his funds, Cage decided he would work his way out instead. By 2010, his plan was simple. He would take acting jobs. He would accept roles previous. Nicolas Cage would reject. He would film faster, shoot more movies per year, and accumulate income to pay down debt. But legitimate major motion pictures take months to film. Cage couldn't do 50 movies yearly, so he turned to direct-to-video, sometimes called VOD, video on demand. These films skip theatrical release and go straight to streaming. The direct-to-video market was historically associated with low-quality, aging action stars fading away. But in 2010, something was happening. Amazon was building Prime Video. There was suddenly demand for any content filling hours of programming. Cage positioned himself perfectly. He had name recognition. He could carry a film. Most importantly, he'd work for less money if shooting schedules were fast. A major studio film might pay him $5 million over 5 months. A direct-to-video film might pay him $500,000 in 3 weeks. The math worked. Between 2010 and 2020, Nicolas Cage appeared in 46 films. Most A-list actors do 2 per year maximum. Cage was doing 5 or 6. Some were terrible. Willy's Wonderland featured Cage fighting animatronic puppets in an abandoned theme park. The plot, a drifter with no dialogue survives the night while possessed robots try killing him. It's nonsensical, unwatchable. Yet Cage gave it everything. Directors confirmed something unexpected. Cage wasn't phoning it in. He arrived on time, prepared scenes meticulously, brought energy to $3 million budget projects. He did this while managing $13 million debt, dealing with IRS liens, and attending court depositions. Think about that. You're 45. You have debt exceeding what most Americans earn lifetime. The government seized your assets. You're sleeping 4 or 5 hours nightly. You're flying between film locations constantly, living in hotels. Yet you're showing up prepared, professional, committed. In GQ magazine in 2022, Cage revealed his motivation. He was spending $20,000 monthly on private care for his mother, Joy Vogelsang. She had psychiatric conditions requiring professional attention. He couldn't place her in state institutions. Private care was his only option. And while being bankrupted by the IRS, while making straight-to-video movies with budgets smaller than his former per diem, he maintained this commitment. $20,000 every month. During this period, Cage also made bizarre purchases. He bought a 9-foot-tall stone pyramid and had it placed in St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 in New Orleans, inscribed Omnia ab uno, everything from one. It was a tomb waiting for his death. Not practical. Not income-generating. Existential. A statement about mortality from a man in financial freefall. He acquired shrunken pygmy heads, claiming they enhanced his acting through their energy. He owned a pet octopus for $150,000, watching it change colors and solve problems, claiming it informed his performances. These were actions of someone psychologically unraveling, losing sense of reality while still working constantly. By 2013, Cage had filmed nearly 20 movies in 3 years. His face appeared on streaming platforms constantly. His income was substantial through volume, but the math was brutal. At his previous rate, one film earned $5 million. At his new rate, $500,000. That's a 90% reduction, but 10 films at $500,000 equals his old baseline. He was maintaining equilibrium through volume. Meanwhile, something was happening in the broader economy. Real estate, which collapsed in 2008-2009, was recovering. Slowly. By 2013, the market stabilized. By 2015, prices climbed. Some of Cage's properties, bought at peak prices, began regaining value, not full value, but better than catastrophic losses. Not enough to clear entire debt, but enough to demonstrate progress, enough to negotiate with the IRS, enough to show creditors he was serious. From 2010 to 2022, Cage worked constantly. The movies kept coming. Primal with Nicolas Cage, Color Outer Space, Dog Eat Dog, Speed Kills. Most went directly to streaming. Most had budgets under $10 million. Most will never be rewatched by mainstream audiences. But each represented income. Progress. Cage starred in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. It was meta-commentary. Nicolas Cage, playing Nicolas Cage, as a washed-up actor who's broke and desperate. To pay bills, he accepts a wealthy fan's birthday party gig for $1 million. The plot spirals into absurdity. But the core truth was that the fictionalized Cage was broke and desperate enough to take anything. This wasn't subtle. Cage was making comedy about his own financial collapse. It was darkly funny, honest. The kind of self-aware humor only someone who actually experienced catastrophic financial loss could produce. The film premiered at SXSW in March 2022 and received strong reviews. It made money. It grossed over $75 million worldwide. Cage's paycheck was substantial, not 1990s levels, but significant. In a GQ interview around release, Cage stated calmly, "I'm debt-free now. After more than a decade of constant work, after appearing in 46 films, after selling properties across continents, after maintaining his mother's care despite financial catastrophe, Nicolas Cage had finally paid off his debt. But he didn't stop working. After announcing he was debt-free, he continued taking roles. The motivation shifted. He wasn't grinding to survive anymore. He'd discovered that the work itself had value. Here's the ultimate lesson. Nicolas Cage earned $150 million, spent approximately $200 million, and accumulated assets that became liabilities when markets crashed. He made emotional purchases reflecting psychological distress. He allowed himself to be seduced by unlimited wealth. Then he worked, for 12 years, for 46 films, for 18-hour shooting days, for hotel nights, for exhaustion, for compromises, for humiliation. He discovered that the work carries weight transcending money. He discovered that showing up matters more than outcomes. He discovered that integrity, once lost, can be reclaimed through action and time. The castles remain in Europe. These remnants of collapse are permanent monuments to his belief that he could accumulate infinitely. But Nicolas Cage is still here, still working, still acting, still showing up, from a place of actual choice rather than desperation. The myth about Cage's bankruptcy is that it destroyed him. The reality is that it refined him, it tested him, it revealed something about human resilience transcending economics. It's not a happy ending, it's not traditional redemption. It's a story about refusing the easy exit and choosing the long, difficult road of honest work. And in 2024, when we're facing economic uncertainty again, when young people drown in debt, when financial security seems illusory for most, Cage's story matters. It reminds us that financial collapse needn't be permanent. It demonstrates that work itself has value beyond financial return. It shows that people can maintain integrity even when everything conspires against them. It's a blueprint for what to do when success explodes in your hands. It's survival written in humility, persistence, and stubborn refusal to quit. And that's more valuable than any amount of money.